up everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. For today's video, I am doing another Girl Talk TMI Q&A video. You guys loved the last video I posted like this, and I feel like there's just things that need to be spoken about that no one wants to talk about. I am not really a shy person when it comes to anything in my life. I'm an open book, so you can really ask me anything. Like, I don't get embarrassed very easily. I saw a lot more questions about orgasms and sex and all that stuff, so we're gonna touch on that. Hip dips, I got you girls covered for that. We're gonna talk all about that and some other fun stuff. I thought I would also show you guys my updated makeup routine in this video because I get asked about that all the time. I've been doing the same thing for a while now, and these are like my holy grail products, and I've been getting a lot of questions about them, so I got you covered. I'm not going to be doing like a whole tutorial type thing, but I will list everything in the description box. Let's get this party started. Let's get some makeup on my face and we'll answer some questions. There is a common theme with these questions. I realized there's a lot of them over and over, so I will pick the most common ones and answer them. Start on an easy one. I surprisingly got asked a lot about burning my Diva cup and literally starting a fire in my house with my Diva cup. So if you guys don't know, I use Diva cups. I'm going with the CC Plus It Cosmetics cream. This is my second one, best foundation on earth. Full coverage, don't be fooled by the name. And then I also am going to mix in some carrot oil. I ran out of my favorite face oil. I'm trying to use up my products, so I'm going to use this carrot oil, which is just the best. Every time I switch from using it, I come back and it's so good. And to sterilize your Diva cup, you boil it. So I have like a Diva cup pot that I boil my Diva cup in because I don't know, I'm not going to, boil a Diva cup and then go cook pasta in the same pot. I was boiling my Diva cup to sanitize it and I forgot about it. And I walked away, which you should never do when you're boiling something on the stove, but I literally just forgot about it. I went upstairs, I think I was getting ready, I showered, I just left a boiling Diva cup on my stove, and all of a sudden the fire alarm goes off and I'm like, okay, my fire alarm, she's moody. She goes off all the time. I walk downstairs and lo and behold, there is fully a fire. This high on my stove, a fire is blazing, okay? And so I quickly grabbed the pot and put water on it, but that Diva cup was charred to a crisp. So that's basically how I almost burnt my house down with my Diva cup. Now when I sanitize my Diva cup, I don't leave it side because that shit is flammable. The second most asked question is what happened with my previous boyfriend, because I never really touched on it. I keep my private life pretty private just because once you open that can of worms, people feel like they have a right to talk about it. I'm actually very grateful for all my relationships, whether it be with a man or a friendship. Every person is there and comes into your life for a reason, and then that relationship taught me a lot and made me grow a lot. And as I grew in that relationship, I just realized that we are completely different people and that long term it was just not going to work out. Not that our values were different, but what we wanted out of life was, maybe a little bit different. We didn't end badly. We don't have any hard feelings. And we both just know that we weren't that compatible. It wasn't anything crazy that happened that broke us up, nothing scandalous. So that's really why. It was definitely my most amicable, best breakup, I didn't get spit on this time, so there's that. My friend Eliana got me this makeup bag for Christmas. We did like a Secret Santa, and she got me this, and it is, I think, my favorite gift I've ever received. It's so cute, right? It's from Patched Essentials. I'm going in with this new concealer that I got, the Ilia concealer in the shade SC1. Oh, I like this one. Would you change anything about your Ikea Pax wardrobe now that you've had time to use it? So she's talking about the system behind me. I have a whole video about how I built it. I literally built it myself. Overall, I'm happy with it. I just feel like it's maybe a little bit cheap. And for the price, I understand that, but like a lot of my drawers are breaking. Although I like to think I am Bob the Builder, I am not. That could be because of my I built it myself, but a lot of like the drawers are breaking, and I just feel like sometimes it feels like a little bit cluttered. So once I move, I'm gonna bring it with me. Once I move, I'm gonna organize it differently. How to deal with discharge while living with a man? I feel like I have to be clean 24/7. This is a good question. Discharge is something that I feel like it happens to everyone, but no one talks about it. I remember being so embarrassed about it. I think we've all come to terms and know that every girl gets discharged. It's normal. But do I want my man like looking in my panties and seeing it? Not necessarily. For me, I would just like roll them up and throw them in the hamper. There's no reason for anyone to be unrolling my dirty underwear and taking a peek. But if it is something that you're self-conscious about, maybe have a hamper for your undies and then you can wash them. I am passionate about this topic. Unless I'm marrying the man, I am not living with another boyfriend. Like, I have lived with boyfriends in the past, and living with your boyfriend is so difficult, okay? It could be great, but it is definitely very challenging. And, you know, feeling the need to be clean 24/7 is definitely something that I have felt in the past. It's just not realistic. You're not going to feel or be your cleanest after a long day of work or a workout. I just had to like let go of that idea that I always had to be perfect, because when you're living with someone, you're not going to be perfect all the time. How can I meet a man when I'm not a dating app kind of girl? So this is a good question. I'm not a dating app kind of girl either. This is not my cream contour. Excusez-moi. I'm trying to use up all my products, so I'm at the very end of this cream contour. You have to like actually leave your house. I know it's not something that I personally enjoy, but you have to leave your house to meet people. And then you also have to look and go places where the person you want to date will be. Let's say I want someone who really loves working out as much as I do. Not that I love working out, but let's say that's something that was really important to me. Maybe I would go, you know, to the gym. Let's say I want someone who is very studious, just like me. Maybe I would look in the library. I would hang out in the library. Let's say I want someone who goes out to nice restaurants and goes out to clubs. Maybe I would look there. I would start going and hanging out in places where your ideal partner would be. And then you'll meet people, and maybe you won't meet your partner at those places, but maybe you'll meet someone who is like, I have the perfect person for you. Have you been cheated on? Unfortunately, I have, on multiple occasions. And, you know, it's so funny because I was always the person, if I get cheated on, I'm gone. It's a lot easier said than done. You said you lost your sex drive. How did you overcome that, or is it still a problem? Okay, I figured it out. I have figured out there's a lot of things that can affect your sex drive. For me, namely, it is stress, but also for me, my sex drive is completely determined and started outside of the bedroom. I know for a man, okay, not all men, most men though, you can like kiss their neck, you can look at them, and they're ready to party. Women, it takes a lot more. For me, my sex drive is 100% started outside of the bedroom. You know, if I'm with someone who is unmotivated, who maybe doesn't treat me the best, maybe doesn't help me, not that I want someone who like, you know, actually, yeah, like someone who helps you. Let's say you're living with someone and they do absolutely nothing to help you out. You think I want to have sex with you? No, I don't. Just plays such a huge role. Let me know down below if you're the same way. Speaking on this topic, this is something I'm very passionate about. And I kind of touched on it I did touch on it, but I got a lot of questions about this again. My husband can't make me orgasm. Any tips? Thank you, girly. In the past, that was me. Like, no, I've been in relationships where I have faked every single orgasm. But then I was like, okay, wait, no. I have to get something out of this. Like, I'm not just here to pleasure you. And that is the number one thing you cannot do. You cannot fake your orgasm. So if you're doing that, first of all, stop, because your partner thinks he's doing something amazing or she's doing something amazing, and they're just going to continue doing that because they think they're doing something great. So stop doing that. The second thing is you have to figure out what you like for yourself. So figure out what makes you feel good. That's the most important thing. And then once you know what you like, you can communicate that with your partner. It doesn't have to be like, you suck at this is what you need to do, but like, you know, give them gentle nudges while they're doing it to get them in the right direction. Do you believe in 50-50 in a relationship, as you as a girl paying 50% of household bills? I personally do. Unless I was a stay-at-home mom and that was my job, obviously I'm not going to be splitting bills 50-50. But if we're both working and we're both, you know, making money, I just personally for myself would always want to split bills 50-50. I like this question. I feel like I'm slouching down like this. I like this question. How do you make sure you don't lose yourself in a relationship? Okay, number one thing. I see this all the time with my friends, with people online. Make sure you keep your own life. Make sure you have your own friends. Make sure you take time for yourself to do things by yourself, whether it is going to the gym, going for dinner with friends, going on girls' trips, so that your whole identity doesn't become being with that person. Because I've been in that relationship where my whole identity was reliant on that person. My whole life was reliant on that person. All my friends were his friends. I stayed in that relationship so much longer because I felt like my identity was tied to that person. The things you were doing before you were in a relationship, make sure you continue to do them after you get into a relationship. What are your opinions on your significant other's cell phone? My opinion on this is that is their cell phone. And I am not going through your cell phone. I'm not going through your stuff. I've been that person who takes a phone in the middle of the night and goes through it. I've been there and I never want to go back to that. How your partner acts with their phone is very important. I dated this one guy who would not let me on his phone. If I wanted to use his phone to call, let's say my phone was dead or I didn't have my phone with me, like he would dial it and hold it to my ear. What do you expect me to think when you're doing that? Let's say I was in a relationship and I asked my boyfriend to use their phone and he just handed me their phone. I wouldn't think anything of it. I wouldn't be going through your phone. If you're hiding your phone and tilting your phone away from me and putting your phone down upside down so that I don't see the messages that pop up, I'm going to be curious. I'm going to want to peek. If someone's doing sketchy stuff with their phone and being sketchy with their phone, it's because there's something sketchy on their phone. And that in and of itself is a red flag. What names do you want for future kids? Greek names. So I go through phases with names. When it comes to boys, I don't have any names picked out. I don't necessarily feel attached to Greek names. I don't know why. So for a long time, I really wanted to name my daughter Andrea. As a kid, I just loved the name Andrea. And then I really wanted to name my daughter Tatiana. I still like all these names, but it's not something that I'm like, this is going to be my daughter's name. And then I was on a short name kick for a while. I loved the name Ava, so they're all like names, you know? I think I really am drawn to feminine names because I have a boy's name. What do you look for in a partner? Is there a common reason why your past relations didn't work? Like I said at the beginning of this video, I learned a lot in my past relationships, and I always put a lot of blame on the other person being the reason our relationship didn't work out. I realized after, going to therapy and really reflecting, because before I jumped into another relationship or started talking to someone, I really wanted to be like my best self. And I wanted to see why my past relationships weren't necessarily working out. I realized that I did have a type, and I would pick people that I thought I could fix. I thought, it's me, that's it. I'm going to be the one who changes you. Newsflash, you're not changing anyone. They can only change themselves, and no matter what you do, you're not going to be the person who changes anyone. I was picking these people who told me, they wanted to change and that I could help them and blah, 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 blah. Everything in the book I've heard. I was like, if I love you enough, if I love you hard enough, you'll change. They're not going to. They're not changing. They will never change. How do you stay motivated? Any tips or certain habits that help you stay on track? So this is like one of the biggest things I get asked when it comes to business or when it comes to working for yourself. How do you stay motivated? For me, in order to wake up every morning and be motivated to work for myself, because no one's telling me what to do or to get to work, like in order for me to do that, I have to set tasks for myself or goals for myself with a reasonable amount of difficulty. Oftentimes, I find a lot of people set goals for themselves that are extremely unrealistic for that time in their life and for the time frame that they want to accomplish it. Let's say I was going into real estate and my goal was to own 10 properties. Look, that is a daunting task. Where I am right now, that task, if I was just like 10 properties, I would start working towards it and immediately get discouraged. I would give up. Or maybe you own a business and you're like, I want to get to $10 million a year in sales. Like, okay, cool it. Let's start with something more manageable. And then also at the same time, you don't want to create goals or tasks for yourself that are just so unbelievably easy that they're boring. I set goals every day for that day. I set goals at the beginning of the week for that week. I set goals at the beginning of the month for the month. And I set goals at the beginning of the year for that year. And those goals are always things that I think I can achieve. You want to set goals for yourself that excite you, that make you want to do those things, that make you want to get out of bed and push yourself every day harder and harder, but not goals that are going to make you give up. And also, like, take a minute when you accomplish these goals and reflect and realize how good it feels. And then how good it feels will motivate you to continue going. That is my biggest thing. Set realistic goals that still excite you. That's how I stay motivated. That is a long answer. Okay, so I finished my makeup because it's just so hard for me to talk and do my makeup at the same time. But I wanted to answer more of these questions. If you can go anywhere in the world right now, where would you go? I would go to Greece, 100%. I want to see my family so badly. I'm hoping to go by next summer. I will be going by next summer. I haven't been there in such a long time, and I used to go every year. So I just miss my family so much, and I just really want to see them, and I want to go with my dad. Who's your longest, bestest friend you've had and can count on besides Nikki? So this one is my best friend Jana, for sure. How was your experience getting and using birth control? In one of my last vlogs, I talked about how I got a copper IUD. I've hated birth control my whole life. It's made me very depressed. I never felt myself when I was on birth control. I stopped using all forms of birth control, but I'm not trying to have a baby right now. That is why I got a copper IUD, just because there's no hormones, and the only thing that a lot of people said was that it makes your periods worse. I already have very light, easy periods. The only symptom I have for my periods is that my boobs hurt. So I wasn't worried about that, and honestly, I got it put in, and I feel no different. I'll let you guys know after I get my first few periods, but as of right now, it's been great, and I would recommend the copper IUD. Anything without hormones, I'm all for. Hormonal birth control is just the devil. I swear it's the devil. Would you ever create your own clothing line, collab with Sarah? You should be sponsored. Oh, thank you. So I don't ever have plans on owning a clothing line ever. That's not a goal or a dream of mine, but I would love to do a collab with Walmart. They have amazing clothes, as you guys know, with my bougie on a budget videos, but I feel like they just need someone to tap in to the younger market. That would just be my dream. Honestly, having a collab or a little capsule collection with Walmart would be a dream. It's definitely on my vision board, but I don't know how I'm gonna tackle that yet. Have you ever had a one-night stand? I have not ever had a one-night stand. Nothing against them. Here's the thing. If I really, really wanted, was in the mood, let's say, I would just handle that myself. So I'm not out here looking for someone to bring home, and I just never had the desires. Nothing against it. Do whatever makes you happy. Okay, and we're gonna end with this one because this was the most asked question. What's your hip dip fix? Spill the tea. I just want to preface this by saying, if you don't like plastic surgery, you can click off right now, okay? So let me just say this. No matter how many Chloe Ting hip dip workouts you do, they're not going anywhere. Nothing I've tried, nothing has gotten rid of hip dips. The only thing that kind of made a difference was diets. If I lost weight, they were a little bit less noticeable. You're born with your hip dips. That it's just how your body is. Some people have small boobs and they love their small boobs, and that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. But some people have small boobs and want big boobs. I'm not saying that hip dips are ugly. I'm not saying that you need to fix your hip dips if you have them, because that's the last thing. I'm all for just doing what you want to your body and what is going to make you confident. And I know that hip dips is something that a lot of people have that they don't like. I've always been so open with the things I've had done. And this is the one thing that I was a little bit like nervous to talk about. And I was honestly contemplating not talking about it. But then I sat back and I thought that is the issue on social media, especially when the doctor told me that so many celebrities, influencers do this, but no one talks about it. Once I found out that a lot of people do this and no one talks about it, I knew that I had to talk about it. I know I'm still gonna get those DMs, I know I'm still gonna get those comments, but I really don't care. I'd rather be open about this and talk about it than pretend that I fixed my hip dips with a workout. My friend Nashreen works for 2 plastic surgeons in Montreal, Dr. Arash and Dr. Ali. They are brothers. So she reached out to me asking me in the summertime, asking me if I was interested in doing butt fillers. And at the time, I thought she was referring to Sculptra. So Sculptra is a collagen boosting filler. It's not a filler. It's like you inject it in an area and it's supposed to stimulate your own collagen. And I've just heard that this does absolutely nothing, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to test it out. I'm always honest. Nashreen knows that I am extremely honest. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to come on here and say it doesn't work. Just like Cool Sculpting, I did. The results were incredible. I am 100% a supporter of Cool Sculpting. I went into this appointment thinking I was getting Sculptra. I have this all on camera, by the way. I vlogged the whole thing, like them explaining it. So let me know if you want to see it in a video. Dr. Ali and Dr. Ash, they do all sorts of plastic surgery, but they really like specialize in bodies. They do a lot of BBLs. I did not get a BBL, by the way. I'm just going to preface this. I didn't get a BBL. I did not go under the knife. I did not get liposuction. I did not get a BBL. So I went in and I was like, so it's Sculptra, like it boosts collagen? And he's like, no, it's actually a filler. This is a filler you can use on your body. And a lot of people use it to fill their butt. Now, I personally wouldn't fill my butt. I mean, if that's what you want to do, go for it. But I know that with diet and exercise and butt workouts, I can grow my butt to where I want it to be. But nothing is going to grow my hip dips. It may seem extreme to fill your hip dips, but for me, it's just something that I wanted to try. I wanted to test it out, and I did it. They are the only doctors in Montreal who are allowed to use this product. There's a few doctors in Toronto, some doctors in LA or in the States, but in Montreal, they are the only doctors who are allowed to use this product. The syringe of filler is 10 cc's of filler. So when you get filler put in your lips or your face, it is 1 cc of filler. Like one syringe is 1 cc. This syringe of filler is 10 cc's. And this syringe, this body syringe, costs $600. So basically, they filled my hip dips, and that is how I fixed my hip dips. Instead of going in, I just wanted it to be smooth. I don't want to just say this procedure is nothing, because obviously it is a big deal, just like any filler, any Botox, any plastic surgery. But it's not a BBL, it's not permanent, it does last for 2 years. I'm always honest about the things that I did, the things that I do. I never want to come on and lie and give you unrealistic expectations. So if you don't agree with doing this, if you don't agree with filler, I get it. It's not for everyone, but you can keep your opinions to yourself. Everyone is entitled to do what they want to their own body. This is what I did to my body. I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm not saying you have to fill your hip dips. I'm not saying you have to do anything to your hip dips or ever, but I just wanted to be honest with what I did. Really just wanted to fill my little hip dip so that it doesn't go in, and that's all. And that's what they did. And that's my fix for hip dips. I will leave Dr. Arash and Dr. Ali's Instagram down below. I have to say, I am very, 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 very happy with the results. And this is probably the first and last time I'm going to talk about it on my channel, unless you guys want to see the vlog. Alrighty, you guys, so that is it for my Girl Talk TMI Q&A. I'm always, as you guys know, open and honest, and if you want to ask me other stuff, I'm open to answering in the comments. I honestly wish I could have all of you over to my house with like a bottle of wine and we can just chat. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for new videos every single week. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys back here next time.